Alright everybody, welcome back! So, I'm sure many of y'all are probably grinding the event, you're wondering about this plane, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's really not all that. None of the rewards are really good this time. This is probably the best of the rewards, but it's really nothing special. Now, it does get AIM-9Ls, best iron missiles in the game, in my opinion. You saw that right there, it is absolutely nuts. They are much flare happier now than they used to be, so that is something you gotta keep in mind, although we will touch on that a little bit later. But this plane in ARB is really nothing special. I wouldn't even say it's very good for grinding. It is incredibly slow. That's the biggest problem with it. Like, it honestly feels about as slow as the A-10 most of the time. So, I wouldn't recommend bringing a full bomb load. I'd just bring, 750-pound bombs or whatever so you can kill one base if you're going to bomb. And to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even bomb in it because it's just so incredibly heavy that, especially with the bombs on, that you're not going to be able to get anywhere. So I would just run the 2 gun pods personally, and the 9Ls, of course. You can just go ahead and ground pound with those guns on. You got plenty of ammo then, and you can just farm ground targets that way if you're trying to get points without having to kill planes, because this thing is not good at killing planes. Now, this is finally a well-balanced attacker. I'm pretty happy about that. Gaijin has had a habit in the past little bit of adding all aspect missiles at 10-0, 10-3, 10-7, even 9-7 in some cases, like with the SC-25. Thank God that thing is going up in BR. So this thing is up at 11-0. This is where it belongs when it comes to ARB. It should not be a capable dogfighter. It's just that it really does make it painful to play. Like you can see right here, he just flares my 9L, and then there's really nothing I can do. I can't keep up with him in the stall fight. There's an F-14 on him. There's not much I can do. I try and go for the shot here, but unfortunately I'm just not able to. Now, this right here is exactly what I was talking about earlier with the flare resistance to the AIM-9L. It's really not that amazing anymore. However, if you do keep a burner on, which, by the way, sorry man, I'm going to put this in here. This is actually a viewer. If you keep the burner on, like Zenma right here, you can actually see him burning the entire time. It's going to track through all of the flares. There's really nothing you can do in that case. So make sure if someone fires an AIM-9L at you over your aspect, you need to turn off your afterburner. That is huge. As long as you do that, 9 out of 10 times, I'd even say 99% of the time, the AIM-9L is going to be a very, very easy one flare. And then that just puts you back in the same spot, just like this right here. And unfortunately, they did nerf the Vulcan, so even though I have 3, I only get a crit on this gentleman, which is rather unfortunate. This is, by the way, why I recommend running the gun pot. It's just because the Vulcan is so anemic these days when it comes to damage that the extra firepower is honestly kind of needed. Because unlike something like an F-15 or an F-14, you're not going to get another shot most of the time. You're so slow, you bleed so much speed when you turn. It's really, honestly, pretty painful. At least it's better than the other event rewards. It's either this or the Chinese tank, which is really not good, or a Soviet ship, which, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I don't play Soviet naval. So, you do also have the little armor car, but all we're really worried about is the main prizes, right? So, it works, I guess. It's really nothing special, and I would not personally recommend keeping it. If you do get it, I would try and sell it if you're an ARB player. If you do keep it, make sure to stay low. Try and avoid people as much as possible. You are not a dogfighter. You are not going to do well. Take every head-on you get. You're probably going to die in a lot of them, but you have a much better chance of killing someone head-on, which, unfortunately, that is actually not a kill. That is going to get stolen because of the anemic damage to these guns. If you ask me, 3 Vulcans, he should be dead. That was like a half a second burst into him. He puts the fire out, and then someone comes and seals the kill, and that kind of grinds me. But it is what it is. So, not great, not terrible. It's at least well-balanced, and I am happy about that. Now, you would think this thing would be better in ground RB, right? Well, Yeah, so it's not exactly pretty in ground RB either. I tried my best, I really did. I spent a solid 4 hours sitting here trying to get it to work, but I just can't. Uh, the Pantsir is just ridiculously strong. I got one down tier in my entire time, and I got absolutely seal clubbed because my entire team died. So, almost every game you're going to be fighting Pantsirs. You got to pray that there's not one up whenever you spawn, because if there is, you are going to die. You are not able to climb fast enough or far enough to get away from this thing. If you go low, you're not going to be able to see them in time. At least I'm not able to. And if you're low, this thing isn't fast enough. So, like, if you're in the F-16, you can go low, pop up, and drop a GBU-8, right? You're not able to do that in the A-7. It's simply not fast enough. So you gotta hope you can get above them before they're able to look straight up. And even then, the Pantsir can look 80 degrees straight up. So, assuming the Pantsir player is smart enough to go ahead and use that, there's really nothing you can do. Now, if the Pantsir didn't exist, this thing would actually be pretty good. You get access to Mavericks, you get one hobo as well if you want to run the thermal pod like I'm doing right here. You can bring 2 hobos if you want to. And honestly, I've been kind of liking the hobo. Now, there is one small problem, and one thing I really hope that Gaijin corrects. You know this thermal pod? Well, the Mavericks and the hobos, they don't work at night. So if you get a night match, these are entirely useless. Which is really a shame, because this plane would be relatively good if it had at least had that advantage. And as far as I know, it should be able to carry the D Mavericks. So hopefully they change that. In the meantime, though, you gotta pray you get unaware players just like this right here. And I'm about to die here in a second anyways, which is really unfortunate. But this is pretty much the best cast I could get for y'all. I spent 4 or 5 hours just trying to do something. And I only got 2 games where I was actually able to go ahead and do anything. Because either I wouldn't be able to get up because American top tier is not really good right now, or I would just get absolutely beamed out of the sky by a Pantsir. And that little death compilation, I should say, that's not even all of them. Now, one nice thing is that, since you have A9Ls, and this is in ground RB, not air RB, they don't actually have a marker on them. So a lot of MiG-27Ks and stuff like that aren't going to see you coming, and they do have pretty good range. So you can use them to at least clear the skies a little bit, because the MiG-27K is still very scary. But overall, this thing it's all right. It's definitely better in ground RB, assuming there's no Pantsirs in an air, but I still wouldn't really recommend it. It at least looks good. I think that it looks the best, and it's at a balanced BR. But this has been a really disappointing plane to play, to be honest with y'all. But either way, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below and what y'all are going for. So, either way, I'll see y'all next time, and peace, y'all.